All right, all right, all right. Welcome to another edition of Agents Influence Podcast, conversations with J. Cass, me. Sometimes they call me JC, but I don't like it because that stands for Jesus Christ, and I'm nowhere near him except closer than anyone else on the face of the earth. Okay, that's right. And what I mean by that, not close. I'm not talking about the personal relationship. I'm just talking about like being awesome, right? That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, but I got the second coolest person on the face of the earth, Mr. Ryan Mathisen, the CEO of Glovebox. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. We just jumped Kanye, so I love that. Me and you just jumped Kanye one at a time. So
it's easy today. It's
know?
easy today. That cat's got other problems to worry about rather than being number one. Boy, I tell you what, that guy. Anyways,
we won't go down that road.
No, we won't. And what we're here to do is we are here to talk about the Glovebox. Now, here's the thing, loyal listeners. No, we're not going to give you all the boring shit. Okay, we're going to talk about like why they're developing, what they're developing, and where we're going, and how we're seeing this world. Because once again, they were agents. They developed this for agents, and when I just gave the presentation at the IAOA, loyal listeners, and Ryan, and I talked about the way that I've seen data, some of the predictions I've made that have come correctly, and where I think we're going. And what's weird is back, Ryan, when I wrote the book, I've talked to Andy about this, when I wrote the book, Customer Service is Just Foreplay.
Yep.
I came up with what the modern customer experience looks like, and I give a definition to it. And in that, I even said then that the platform that we need to do this in 2015, it's not here yet, right?
Right.
And I'm looking forward, I'm saying the platform's still not here, but it's now being developed, and it's now being seen. And I will tell you this, another app company heard my presentation and said, we've been thinking about, we've known about and thought about the CXP since 2012. Cass makes it seem like it's new. And I think there is a difference between someone thinking about something and actually making it happen, especially when they're in the same sphere as you. Does that make sense when I say that, Ryan?
Yeah, it totally makes sense, man. I mean, you can't look. A mobile app is a mobile app, right? It's just a delivery mechanism. You can't look at it as like, oh, we're buying it because we love a cute little mobile app. Like, that's great and all, but it's not about that. The mobile app is just a component of your policyholder's experience. It's everything on the back end, and it's the web version, and it's the way they operate with workflows within your agency, and it's really so much more than just looking at a mobile app, right? That is, we have pigeonholed the industry for people saying, yes, I'm for a mobile app, or no, I hate a mobile app, I'll never use it. And that's kind of the black and white, right? And I think that's where there's room for improvement in people's thinking of is it's not about a mobile app. That has nothing to do with it, right? That's great. It's a great tool to have, but it's just that. It's a tool in the toolbox of the customer experience platform.
It really is, the customer experience platform. And really think about it two ways, agents, is that we have a way that we're working inside of Agency HQ, right? Our Glovebox HQ, where because keep in mind, like he said, it's more than an app. It's actually online as well. I mean, it's a really cool thing. If you haven't seen it, you need to get a demo. And I'm being serious about that because you're going to see the differences, and you're going to go, oh, that's what they meant when they said it's more than an app. But also the way that it's going to connect with the customer, yes, but also the way it's going to connect with our staff. One of the things that you were showing me, Ryan, I flew out, loyal listeners, out to Denver. Once again, when I'm out trying to look and see what's the best for you, loyal listeners, I'm not just making this shit up. I'm flying to where they are and sat them down for a whole day.
It was on the ground.
Yeah, and so show me how this is done. And you showed us, Ryan, in a world that's coming very soon, where no matter what carrier you have or who needs the change made, it's going to start in one spot and then goes, and it's the same pattern inside the same platform, but still gets done in all the carriers. I mean, what's the best way for me to explain it other than that?
Yeah, I mean, look, It's a lot like what you just talked about in your book, where you were, conceptualizing what this should be, right? It's where we're missing the boat, and it's really the root of most of our problems as an agent. It's data pass, man. Like, it's top funnel data coming down to the agency and then continuing on down to the policyholder and then back upstream again. It's an upstream and downstream data flow. And that's really, when you have a system that can accommodate that up and downstream data flow, now you can start plugging in workflow components that you use, whether it be, I use this quote capture, I use this live chat, I use this system for my, my agency bill applications for submissions and, whatever. So it's really looking at the data flow and making it so direct up and down, where you're not trying to pull things from all of these different places and using all these different platforms to try to piecemeal kind of a quilt version of it. And for us, we firmly believe in going directly to the source, which is the carrier. Like, why are we creating all these like obstacles to getting data when we could just go direct up and down?
Correct. And okay, so one of the things that we'll talk about, because this is the listeners love to hear this, a lot of talk out there about trying to eliminate Ivans. Now, being realistic, I think that there's more than just Apple, right? There's more than just Droid. We can coexist. And I think some of the direction you guys are going is not to say, hey, we're going to try and put Ivans out of business. It's, hey, we think there's a better way or a different way that can make that happen. Am I saying that correctly?
I mean, look, we want to work with the carriers specifically that understand the opportunity that exists when you open up the door for that up and downstream data pass. Like, let's open that door for a minute and think about a client being able to make endorsements on their own and passing that up to the carrier, where the agent says, yeah, that's cool. They can do that. Send that up. Like, think about the world that unlocks. Or, hey, we know this client has a home policy with carrier X. They don't have an auto policy in the household. Why don't we live rate the auto, present it to the user, bind it in platform, and the agent seeing, oh, cool, I just wrote more business. Like, think about the world that opens up. So for us, it's not a black and white where we're saying, hey, we want to come in and replace this, replace that. There is a world where you can marry specific technologies together and create better workflows for the carriers that are open to that type of experience.
Very well said, Ryan. Yeah. Very, very, very well said. It's a big sandbox. It really, truly is. Yeah. And I think, hey, if we're making it easier for agents, no matter what that is, Ivans will be here for a while. I mean, I just truly believe it. They've got too much money. They're owned by. There's a lot of investment in it, and I'm going to give a shout out where it's due. I spent a lot of time with Reed Holsworth. I've spent time with him for the last 7 years of my life, especially in the last year, and he's excited and he's building the team over there. And so I think eventually there will be a merging of the technology. So I'm good for you how you're doing it. Why not just go direct to the carrier? There's a lot of sense made to that.
Yeah, let's see what happens, right? I mean, there are a lot of carriers that are very open to that. They see the opportunity, and again, the marriage is there. We can make it happen. Mm-hmm. So.
Ryan, one of the things we've talked about where I think you guys are in the catbird seat of what's going on right now with InsurTech. InsurTech 1.0 was more of the upfront, the sales, the prospecting, the marketing, gathering of information, trying to make that the easy part. And I'm not saying that we've mastered it, but I think with the economy and the things changing, you're going to start to see them gobble up each other. You're going to start to see them merge, combine. And I think that's going to get more explosive there on the InsurTech. But I see InsurTech 2.0 as where I think actually people can really scale. And especially yourself, you're not InsurTech, you're an indie tech. That's really truly who you are. That's who you're servicing, and congrats on that. But I think that where you're in the catbird seat is you've already realized that, hey, the real cost savings, the real labor intensive work that can be dropped is in the service side. And don't get me wrong, the other side is good too. But don't you guys really feel strong where you are, where everybody's talking about this? And I feel that's going to be one of the next big parts is helping agents on the service side.
Yeah, I mean, look, distribution's sexy, right? Everybody wants to go out, get more leads, get more business. Everybody wants to close deals. I love it, man. That's what I love about insurance. Trust me, that's what I played, right?
Right.
But when you look at what creates revenue and what keeps revenue, and what I absolutely love about being an independent insurance agency is you are building wealth.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Come on now.
It's not about the front end hustle, man. It is about retention, client growth, the relationships, current client referrals, cross sells. So many agents have so much gold in their current book of business that they don't need to go get more new business when it comes to your traditional marketing aspects, right? They can leverage what they have to scale and build wealth. And that's really what we firmly believe in. Now, if we can drive leads, and we've just implemented our new data system through Segment, which is pretty cool to start seeing quote requests and referrals coming in, right? I just saw one. I just looked it up this morning. In 30 days, we brought them 35 quote requests and 15 referrals in 30 days. That's cool. Wow. Great. We've proved that people want to share a mobile app. They want to share a web platform. They want to share with their friends and family. Go get a quote with my agent. That's cool. But at the end of the day, we are hyper focused on saying, let's retain that business. Let's give your policyholders the data, and then let's empower them to make more and better purchasing decisions with you, the agent, where they're not Googling, oh, I need life insurance, right? And I have no clue who I'm working with. I don't know who that agent was. Whatever, who cares? I'm going to go Google it over here, right? So that's really the goal, is to empower the consumer, your consumer at your agency, to buy more insurance from you based on giving them the information that they need to feel comfortable, right? So that's
it's
really
almost like you've worked in this industry before. It's almost like our pain points.
I mean, it's ridiculous, right? We've made it so freaking confusing for our clients. Why do you wonder why they're frustrated, man?
That's what Billy always tells me. He's like, Jason, we make this too damn hard for our own staff and for our own damn clients. Yeah. One of the things you said, and loyal listeners, just break this down. He talked about wealth. That's one of those things that you hear people talk about. And Ryan and I have talked about this before, but when it comes to that retention, if you think about that, we're building a P&L and we're building a balance sheet, right? Yep. And the wealth, loyal listeners, is in that balance sheet. That's where we're building it. That's our assets and our liabilities, right? So when we have new business, don't get me wrong, that makes the P&L look good, allows us to grow our business and build that asset. But it's literally a retention is allowing that asset on that balance sheet to start slipping. And so when we look at that, that's where he's saying you're building wealth. Retention allows you to keep. The more you keep, the more the value of your agency is, and that's on your balance sheet. And so I really think it's important to look at that, because are you using your agency to build it using your balance sheet or your P&L? And I think that's something you can look at, and I think a CXP builds that balance sheet.
Correct. Yeah. And we've been so trained because there hasn't been good enough technology to say, hey, if I've got a service problem, let me just go throw more people at it. Let me go hire more people, $70K a pop. Let's just throw more people at it, see what happens, right? Well, we're trying to change that to say, look, there is a marriage between human beings and technology that can not only help serve your customers better, again, not just with a mobile app, but with a platform that can help. But also, decrease the massive amounts of money you're spending on service, man. It's crazy what people spend. So
at the beginning of this, before you truly were down the road, you and Sean are meeting, you and Andy and Sean are meeting, you're coming up with this idea and this conception. You're not realizing the CXP at that point in time, are you?
No.
So let me ask you a question then that someone's never ever asked you then.
Yeah.
If the CXP is more than an app.
Yep.
Because it is. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
Do we regret using the word Glovebox as the name of our business?
I don't. You don't? I feel like
I've never asked you this. I'm curious.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting question. I feel like it's got some not sentimental value, because that's kind of a weird term to say, but I just feel like it's one of those terms that, while it only encompasses your auto ID cards, it's nostalgic in a way. And so we like it because we feel like
it. That makes sense.
It's got a nostalgic ring for us. We feel like Glovebox can be synonymous with the client experience because it's the new way that you engage with your insurance. But again, as you mentioned, specific to indie agents. We like
Glovebox is the vinyl record, right? Glovebox is the vinyl record. That's where it all started, right? And then it all comes from that to where we are in the CXP. That is the new age, quote unquote, glove box, you know?
Yeah, you want to hear something funny? For those people that have Teslas, man, go log into your account online in Tesla, and they've got a section in their dashboard that says Glovebox, upload your insurance documents.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
I'd call him. I'd get a lawyer.
Send him a letter. Actually, we're going to send him a really nice letter. Like, hey, we should work together, right?
Yeah, we should. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm bad at it.
Yeah. Elon, anything. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah,
absolutely. So an all-in-one encompassing place is the thing that I think I like the most. We have so many places we have to go in our business. So many online places.
Yeah.
To be able to select an auto or home or whatever change or billing, and to be able to be directly taken to that company or been brought back your information, I think is where we're going. And loyal listeners, I think it's so important to hear what Ryan is saying. And this is more than an app. This is a platform that is going to enhance the customer experience. And if you've read my book, go read what the definition of a modern customer experience is. And it's what's going on here. And I think where we're going from this, Ryan, is once you're able to transact that data, and you're able to build those APIs like you are, now the platform becomes I hate the word use analytic, but it becomes behavioral, right? Starts to learn the behaviors of those transactions. How is the customer dealing with this? How is my staff dealing with this?
Right.
Being able to get a true thing of, hey, this person, the employee or the client called in or hit back in with the service request, and then how fast it's being done. Do you see that being a data center?
Oh, 100%. You know, I mean, shout out to the great companies, specifically working on providing data to agencies. I think they're doing a really amazing job. But I think the shortcoming of where we're at with data right now is people get this data plopped in their lap and they're like, oh, cool. What do I do now? Okay. We missed the second piece of like, let's make it actionable now. Like, yeah, okay, I suck at cross sells. All right. Well, how am I going to solve cross sells? Am I going to just send an email out every 6 months? Hey, buy auto from me if you don't have it already. Like, that's where we're at right now. I think it's interesting. So we're trying to solve that second piece. It's like, cool, you suck at cross sells. Let's give you the vehicle that is already in your client's hands and on their computers to say, now let's make you good at cross sells, but let us take some of the burden off of it with the data that we can leverage, that we've been able to aggregate for you. So it's like, it's that second piece that we haven't really thought through yet that we're looking to bring to the table is great. You have data. Now let's make it work.
Yeah. And let's also organize it and make it an ability to, in the future, sell, right? I received a $127 check from Neon for data that I have sold to insurance companies who paid Neon and then cut me my part. I remember when I said that on the stage last week, people laughed. I said, yeah, I got a whole $127, and they laughed. And I don't think they were doing it to be mean or anything, but it had to do with the fact that it's like, if you think that that's small, or if you're paying attention to the size, you're short-sighted, right? Sure. I mean, it's the fact that someone actually paid somebody for data that they were transacting in their office.
Sure.
That's going to just only start to get bigger, and that's the benefit of using a platform like yourself that's going to help capture a lot of that data.
Yeah, let's, and to your point, let's look at the customer tendencies. Let's look at the way they want to operate. Again, I think we're in a very weird space right now across the board with agents. They're either so for technology or they're so against it. It's one way or the other. And
true.
I'll give you an example, man. I was coming back from IOA. We were flying back last weekend, and we're sitting in a restaurant in the airport, me and Adam. And she's like, we're sitting next to this lady. She had to have been, I'm going to guess 60. I don't want to age, but around 60, right? Mm-hmm. She's sitting there by herself. She looks over her shirt. She goes, oh, Glovebox. That's cool. I was like, yeah. She goes, what is that? I was like, oh, we're telling her about it. She's like, oh, that makes total sense. Like, yeah, that sounds awesome. I go, check this out. We had an agency owner come up to us today and said, I am just not ready to allow my clients to do anything on their own. They need to call me, right? Which is a sentiment, right? We get that. We hear that.
Get it a lot. I'm curious what she said.
You should have seen this woman's face. It was half anger, half astonishment of like, what? Almost like, how dare they tell me how I should engage with them when I'm their customer, right? God. It was incredible. And you're talking about a 60-something, she was a teacher. I was like, man, this is like a general consumer with no predisposed education on anything insurance. Like, she could care less. But the fact that someone was telling her how she needed to interact with them made her angry and baffled at the same time. And I was like, wow, this is like where we're at right now, man. We are making decisions on behalf of our clients based on what we think. And that is not a good way to transact business. It's like walking into a restaurant and then saying, no, I'll only cook your steak well done. That's it. And if you don't like it, get out.
That's a good analogy.
Right? Like, that's where we're at. The well done steaks, man. It's an interesting thing. And it's so very black and white. You either like it or you hate it. It's one way or the other.
It's really, really wild. I think every day that goes by, we get one less unconnected and one more connected. You know, it just takes time. Yeah. We're in a bigger difference. I mean, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and when I was speaking, I would ask people who uses e-signatures, and only half the room would raise their hand. In 2010, nobody was raising their hand. Yeah. They were talking about how that was illegal. That wasn't going to be allowed. The government was going to stop that stuff. You know, it's like, Actually, we found out that it's more secure, and we can actually track and make sure that the person actually did sign it because we know what computer they brought. You know, after you get through it, it's actually more secure.
Dude, it's the same thing with document upload, man. We've got document upload coming out in a couple of weeks. Like your Dropbox. Think about agents and how much PII, personal information, they pass through email when you send documents, and how easy it is to hack your email. Like, it is so easy to get your email hacked at an agency. If you're not transacting those documents through a secure source like Glovebox, you are putting your agency's reputation and your client's data at risk, man. I'm telling you, a data breach would suck for an agency. It is such
So what does he mean by that, loyal listeners? I love translating this stuff. That means that somebody calls in and they said, hey, I'd like to have an ID card, or hey, I'd like to have a copy of my deck, or hey, maybe it's a document that your agency is the only one that can get, right? Rather than emailing it to them, he's saying you're going to upload it to their client file inside of Glovebox, because remember, this is a user interface for our staff too that's on the computer. You're going to upload it there, and then you're going to let the person know, hey, you can get your document has been uploaded. Now, is there notifications?
We're going to automate that, so we'll let them know for you. So you just save the time of typing out an email to Mr. Johnson saying, hey, I just uploaded this document. It's already done.
Godless.
And now think about it, man. Like, I could call into any agency right now and say I'm whoever I want, and hey, send me this document to this email. This, and what are agencies doing to even know that guy or gal is who they say they are? You have no idea,
right?
So like,
right. And here's the other thing: is like, I call my a tax person and I say I need a copy of my taxes from this year or this year. Maybe we're getting refinances or whatever.
Yeah.
No, she has an online client portal. I go in that thing 15 to 20 times, and now that I know it's so easy for me to do it, and so now she's got it on the mobile app, and I'm thinking of you guys all the time, and it's just like, once you send, like you said, the person needs that document, I upload it, and then you guys automate it to let my customer know.
Yeah.
The likelihood that they're going to call back next time they need to make a change, they may, but if we send them again to the app or to the CXP, after a while, they're going to stop calling. You know how many agents right now, Ryan, are going, well, why wouldn't you want them to call? Because it's not about you, and it's about providing them a solution. The customer just has a problem and needs a solution. That's it.
And what do consumers relate a good experience to, whether it's digital or in person? They relate it to the brand that they're dealing with. It doesn't matter if it's digital or you're talking to Dave or Rebecca at the agency. It does not matter. If they have a good experience, like, I had a good experience. That's interesting. And
so unbelievable.
My mom's talking about insurance. She needs an agent. Cool. My agent's great. Boom, click the button, refer out. So it's like,
It's awesome.
We've got to get out of this mindset that they have to talk to somebody to have a good experience, because that just is not the case.
This has been a good conversation, man. I think we tore it up and built it back up to let them tore it down and built it back up.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you and Andy and Sean. I mean, and all you guys, Adam, for, taking this dream and making it happen. I mean, you guys bootstrapped this thing. They don't know about it. This was a dream of your guys', to say, not even a dream, but like a vision.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
you guys used to meet.
Everybody thought we were on Easy Street, man. Could have been on the golf course 6 days a week, but we decided to be crazy and sell the agency. It's been fun, man. We got 42 people now, 15 engineers in house. The stuff that we're building right now is so cool. Like, I cannot wait to get it into people's hands, man. It is so cool.
Ryan, thank you very much for providing your indie tech for the independent insurance agency system. I appreciate it very much.
Yes, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, no problem. And you loyal listeners, you know what I do because I do it for you. Tell me your thoughts, tell me your ideas, and I'm going to tell the world what you have to say. This is Cass. He's Mathisen, and we are out.